Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today we have the Black Templars, Assassins and Sisters of Battle facing off against the One Spirit series, Eldar, Dark Eldar and Raiders. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today we're going to have a very fun game. We have the Black Templar Space Marines with some Sisters of Battle and an Assassin facing off against the One Spirit series on a war-torn grass planet. Let's go over to the army lists and the mission and we will get started right away. We'll start with the Black Templar forces. We have an Empress Champion, a Crusader squad inside of a dedicated Land Raider Crusader, a Tactical squad with a multi-melta plasma gun in a Rhino. We have a Dreadnought Venerable with an Assault Cannon. We have 5 Tactical Terminators with a Cyclone and a Chain Fist, a Calidus Assassin, Saint Celestine, and some Sisters of Battle allies, all for 1,500 points. 1,500 points of One Spirit. Randomly chosen, we had the Dark Eldar, 500 points. We had the Coven, 500 points. And we had the Chimera Raiders, the Corsairs, 500 points. So 1,500 points facing off in this maelstrom of war. Let's begin. So my opponent and I will be playing on this table, playing Maelstrom of War Mission 1, which is a very generic Maelstrom of War mission. Make sure you check down below in the links for the blog, the Patreon page. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Let's have some fun. Will the Black Templars and Sisters of Battle be able to deal with the Dark Eldar, or will the Dark Eldar, Coven and Corsairs take on the Space Marines and Imperials, and trophies will abound? Let's begin. Welcome to the battlefield. The Space Marines have decided to deploy first. They picked this pitched battle deployment. So we have a combat squad, a tactical squad, heavy bolter on the ridge, 5 guys inside with a power fist plasma gun, tactical terminators in the back with cyclone missile launcher chain fist, venerable dreadnought with assault cannon, Crusader squad with the Empress Champion in there. The Empress Champion rolled on the, the Black Templar Warlord trait table. And him and his unit can reroll failed charge rolls. Saint Celestine and the unit of Battle Sisters is in there, close to that objective. Over here we have a Venom Corsair with 5 Corsairs with 2 blasters. A Ravager with 2 Lancers and a disintegrator cannon. Cavalite Warriors with a blaster in a dual splinter cannon venom. Another objective. The Grotesquerie, one has the Corsair Prince in it, the other one has the Heamonculus, who is the Warlord, and he rolled number 5, which is, if he gets killed by an AP1 or AP2 weapon, or one that has instant death, I get D3 points. So if he kills my Warlord, then I will get better points. Here is another Venom with a Blaster Warrior squad as well. So we have scout moves to do, and the Calidus Assassin will be infiltrated anywhere within 1 inch of an enemy model. Okay, so it is Night Fight, turn 1, and that means that we'll be fighting in stealth for the first turn. The Corsair Venom has scouted up and the Calidus Assassin has infiltrated near this flank far away from the Grotesquerie that rolled Rage for the game. Okay, so have fun, sir. Enjoy the game. And will the Dark Eldar, note the cool dice so you can see what I'm rolling, seize the initiative? No. Okay, let's begin. Okay, High Command for the Space Marines has ordered them to secure Objective 2, secure Objective 2, and Hungry for Glory, which is issue a challenge. Very Black Templary. So they've moved up and ran. Saint Celestine joined up with the Shooty Terminators. The Rhino with combat squad moved up, supported by the Dreadnought. This tactical squad has moved up and is going towards objective 5. On this flank, we had the Sisters of Battle open up with their bolters, failing to do any damage to the jinking Corsair Venom through the night. And this Land Raider Crusader also firing into the Venom to no effect, which then meant the Callous Assassin fired its Neural Shredder and failed to do any damage to the occupants because there are 2 blasters in there. Other than that, moving on to the 1 Spirit Army, turn 1, and the 3 objectives are Harness the Warp, which I cannot do, Kingslayer, which is kill the Emperor's Champion, Demolitions, which I cannot do, so let's redraw those 2. It'll be kill an enemy Psyker, which I can't do, Scour the Skies, which I can't do. Well, there you go, look at that. Secure objective 5, and Recon. Okay, so some high command stuff there. Let's move on to Dark Eldar, Corsairs, and Coven, turn 1. Okay, Dark Eldar, Coven, and Raiders, turn 1. So, we did get Recon, moved around to make sure we had all the objectives. I'm going to keep Kingslayer for later, and I did get Secure Objective 5 as this Raider boosted up to find out what that was. In other shooting, I had a Lance here, 2 Lances here, and 2 Blasters here. Only successfully put 1 hull point on that Land Raider Crusader, and it's now snap shooting the next turn. And all the shooting from the Corsair Venom, the Cabalite Warriors, and this Venom snap shooting at the Callous Assassin brought her down. She's got 1 wound remaining. So we're moving on to Black Templars, Sisters of Battle, and Assassins, turn 2. The Callous Assassin dispatched, made short work of those Cabalite Warriors. She's on 1 wound remaining. The Land Raider Crusader, full of crusading Marines, failed to do any damage to the jinking Corsair Venom with the snap shooting Assault Cannon and Storm Bolters and Bolters. The Multi-Meltar hit and immobilized the Ravager, and I chose not to jink, and luckily I didn't die, it just immobilized. Then this Rhino boosted up to take objective number 2 for 2 points. Saint Celestine jumped from the Terminator squad to this squad that got out of the Rhino. Combined shooting with the 2 Cyclone rockets from the Marines blew up this Raider with Grotesques, killing 1 Grotesque and wounding 1 in the ensuing explosion, giving the Space Marines first blood. So Space Marines jump ahead with 3 points to their name, leaving 2 points to the Dark Eldar. Now we have reserves to go for the Dark Eldar. By popular demand, I have to use another coloured dice so you can see what I roll. Thanks to the Callous Assassin, I can only pass my first reserve roll on the roll of a 6. So I'm going to roll it from my Lamian. Does she arrive? Yes, she does. And now the other reserve rolls. I have a Corsair Bale Strike Squadron with rocket launchers. They arrive. I have a Corsair squad with flamers, deep striking. They do not arrive. I have a unit of Scourge arriving from regular reserve. They arrive as well. They've got Haywire blasters. Okay, Dark Eldar turn 2. And what are my missions? We have Big Game Hunter, kill a tank, and Pain in all its forms to kill stuff in shooting and close combat. We shall return. And 2. The reserves arrived. 2 more hull points were put on the Land Raider, and it cannot move or shoot in shooting. I did kill the Callous Assassin with poison shots, and then in combat we had the Grotesques really do their work. I killed 1 tactical unit here with this unit. They consolidated back away from the Dreadnought, who did take 2 hull points from the Bale Strike Band that came on with its rocket launchers. And then this squad with the Prince moved up, killed everyone in that unit except for Saint Celestine. She's now hit and run away from the combat. So she's over there, and they only consolidated 1 inch. So now they've got Power Fist to deal with. At least this can't move. Okay, and at the end I have got Pain in all its forms, which gives the Dark Eldar because I killed 3 units in both in shooting and combat, so a total of 3 units. It's D3 plus 3, so I get 5 points for pain in all its forms, and that brings the Dark Eldar up to a 4-point lead over the Space Marines, because I didn't kill a tank. Okay, Space Marine turn 3. Space Marines converged. St. Celestine joined the large Crusader unit that had got out of their Land Raider Crusader, and they failed their 8-inch charge. Well, it was -2 through terrain, but they failed their charge into the Grotesque, even with the Warlord trait reroll. The Dreadnought had tried to charge in, but a lucky snap-shooting Overwatch Haywire grenade took the last hull point off the venerable Dreadnought, killing him, saving the Grotesque from a grisly doom. The Rhino mobilized itself and failed to reach Objective 5 to secure it, which means that the Space Marines, and the Sisters of Battle, fired into that venom and did no damage. And then the Land Raider Crusader split fire, put 1 hull point on the venom, and then the Multi-Melter put a glancing hit on that Ravager, so it's alive with 1 hull point left. And now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3. We have reserve rolls to arrive. We have a deep striking unit of Corsairs with Flamers. It arrives. So the Dark Eldar finally able to kill the Land Raider Crusader. Sporadic shooting killed a few of these Crusaders. Assaults saw the Terminators die after losing 3 members to Venom firepower now that they started failing some pivotal armor saves. Charge into that Rhino to knock it out as well. And over here we had the deep striking Flamers kill 1 Sister of Battle because their armor saves stayed true, while the Venom lent its fire into the Crusader squad. So the Dark Eldar have successfully gained 2 more victory points. We're moving on to Space Marine turn 4. St. Celestine burst forth and killed that raider in combat to gain no prisoners. The big Crusader squad charged into the Grotesques. Issuing a challenge, the Aberration stood forth against the Empress Champion. Took a wound, but put a wound on the Empress Champion with his scissor hands. Meanwhile, the Crusaders did short work of the last Grotesque, and the Prince that had failed 2 Shadowfield saves from bolt pistol fire. In other news, the Sisters of Battle moved out, flamed the Corsair Venom, killing 4 of the Corsairs inside the Venom with their flamer, with the Venom successfully jinked additional damage from the bolters. We're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 4, but the Space Marines have scraped another 2 points, and they will be discarding Secure Objective 5 because there is nothing that can come over to contest that objective in the near future. On to turn 4. Dark Eldar turn 4. We shot into St. Celestine, put 1 wound into her. Then the Warlord Heamonculus and his Grotesques charged into the remainders of the Crusader squad and just annihilated them. These are now Zealot and It Will Not Die. And just the Rending Claws and the Flesh Claws put so many wounds on the poor Space Marines that they have died. And on this flank, Flamers and shooting saw the Sisters of Battle fall back. There's a few of them surviving back there. But with that, we are going to be calling this a game, considering the Dark Eldar have pretty much effectively tabled their opponents. And with that, it's the end of the game. The Dark Eldar will secure Objective 2 and 6, which is by both Venoms. And they have gained Kingslayer, killing the enemy Warlord. Make sure you stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. We'll talk about the One Spirit. Check the Patreon page down below, which is the blog as well. Support the channel to help me create content. And we're moving into February, the 2nd month of 2016. The aim is to surpass 7,000 subscribers and to move towards the 10,000 subscriber mark. So share, like, comment. I'd really appreciate to know what you think about the content. Let me know what you'd like to see. Greatly appreciate it. This is Skari, your grateful host, signing off till next time. Skari out. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. Today we're talking about the Black Templars, Sisters of Battle, and Assassins versus the One Spirit. The One Spirit consists of 500 point sections to my army. The first one this time was 500 points of Corsairs, 500 points of Coven, comprising a grotesquerie formation, and last but not least 500 points of Cabalite Dark Eldar with some Scourge, Ravage support, and Cabalite Warriors and Venoms with a Lamian HQ. Now the mission was simple. It was basic Maelstrom. My opponent decided to deploy relatively central, knowing that they were going to have first turn. Wanted to capitalize on movement and hoping to get as many objectives as possible on Maelstrom if they would have shown up. I deployed, counter-deployed that deployment by hiding my firepower in the corner away from the land-rated Crusader and rocket launchers. And knowing that my opponent didn't have too much long-ranged firepower, I was able to kind of use that range distance to my advantage. The first couple of turns were about moving around the table and getting into position. The Calidus Assassin proved to be a bit of a pain in the neck, but by sacrificing the Cabalite Warriors, was able to mitigate the damage that was going to be done. Turn 2 and turn 3 became really pivotal, as turn 3 for the Black Templars, or turn 2 for the Black Templars, exposing my Warlord, I really thought I was going to have a hard time pressing their army with my grotesques out on foot. Now, once I was able to deal with the Calidus Assassin on the flank, that meant that it really opened up the rest of the battlefield. And being that my Warlord with his grotesques, wasn't really too worried about the damage, because I knew that they were going to be able to kill some of the squishier marine units. The Dreadnought was probably my biggest fear, being strength 10 in combat and pretty much impervious to the grotesques' attacks. Luckily enough, when that Dreadnought charged in to my Corsair Prince, that one haywire grenade did some damage, did some work, and it really allowed me to control the center of the table, as my grotesques were now safe from any strength 10 attacks that would have instant killed them. Pivotally, in turn 3, the Black Templars failed a very important charge. This meant that my grotesques were free to ramage and rummage across the middle of the table and really control the battlefield from there. It was a very slippery slope, with the Space Marines taking a lot of damage in combat, and with power weapons and re-rolling wounds for poison, the sheer number of attacks that those grotesques put out in combat were just too much for them to handle. On the far flank, my Corsairs dealt with the Sisters of Battle quite comfortably with their flamers and their shuriken weaponry, and that really meant that at the end of the day, it was just a matter of wrapping up the victory. All in all, the One Spirit series has been really fun to play. Make sure you check out the blog. The link is down below if you'd like to learn more about the evolution of this list. Thanks for watching. See you next time.